side, Curry for three, and he buried it. He stroked it, knowing that Radmanovich, that's Stephen Curry. Great trigger, you know that. Chase down number 3 by 23.
In what seemed like a very inconsequential game at the time, the dominant Cleveland Cavaliers matched up with the struggling Golden State Warriors. In 2009, LeBron was still relatively young, with it only being his 6th year in the league and all. But don't get it twisted, he was doing GOAT things.
LeBron James with no regard for human life!
There's a reason he already won MVP by this point, and why the Cavs had their sights on something greater. The Warriors, on the other hand, well, let's just say they were trying their best to not go out of business. They only made it to the playoffs once in the last 15 years, and that trend continued in 2009, as they finished that season with a pathetic 26 wins. And yet, this day had a magical aura to it that could only be felt in hindsight, because on this day, the chosen one and the rookie from Davidson met on the court for the very first time, blossoming what would become the greatest rivalry of our generation. From merely being peers who barely acknowledged each other, to bitter enemies who hated each other's guts with an absolute passion, to veterans who've come to respect and even love each other, we see a collision of greatness that defined the careers of these two legends, and redefined basketball as a whole. Two kids from Akron, born in the same hospital, one born into poverty, the other into royalty. One blessed with raw God-given talent, the other forged through elite training from infancy. This is the story of the chosen one and the chef, the king and his usurper, LeBron James and Steph Curry.
Yeah, Stephen Curry. Yeah.
You think he'll be good in the league?
I think so. I think he knows how to play the game of basketball. Of course, being the son of a former NBA player, Dale Curry, he was taught well how to play the game of basketball. So he has the talent.
Quick as hell.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I was impressed.
After that first matchup against Steph, LeBron continued to have a dominant season. That being said, the Cavs did end up getting eliminated by the 4-seed Celtics. Even though LeBron was clearly the best player on the floor that series, he had a depressing supporting cast.
Don't forget about us,
the other Cavaliers.
And whatever LeBron needs, we'll get it done.
As long as what he needs isn't basketball.
Frustrated with the Cavaliers organization for not bringing him any help in the 6 seasons he was there, he decided it was time for a change. And in a very controversial move at the time, LeBron made his infamous decision to team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami.
I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Almost overnight, LeBron went from the hometown hero to the league's villain. And he gladly acknowledged his role as the villain, because he was about to have the best 4-year stretch seen by any player at the time. In his first year in Miami, he averaged 27 points per game on 50% shooting, all while sharing his load with D. Wade. He dominated his way through the East, only losing 3 games up until the finals. That being said, Dirk was having a career season of his own out west, and ended up taking that championship home to Dallas. LeBron came back the following season in demon mode. He was not going to lose again. With the fire underneath him that shined brighter than ever, he made leaps in his game, developing skills that he never really had before. He was a better shooter, post-up player, stronger, and more clutch. I'm telling you, 2012 LeBron might have been the most unstoppable player of all time. And naturally, he won his 3rd MVP this season. And coming into the playoffs, the Heat dominated their way through the East. And once again, the Celtics were out for blood.
Maybe we start by talking about a time or a series where you felt was exhausting.
It was exhausting, wow.
Mentally or physically challenging or exhausting.
2012 Eastern Conference Finals versus Boston.
Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett led the Celtics to a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. But as hungry as these Celtics veterans were, LeBron was ready to feast. Being 1 game away from losing it all, he put the Heat on his back and had one of the greatest playoff performances ever seen. Yup, we're talking about this game.
All series long, having to guard LeBron James. James with the jump shot is good. Then James, meanwhile, he is knocking down everything. He's 8 for 9 from the field, 18 points, and we still have just under 9 to play in the second. Still jump hook won't go. James comes flying in and throws it down.
And Game 7 pretty much went the same. And so, LeBron once again made his way into the finals. And when he was there, he showed no mercy, averaging 29 points and 10 rebounds to embarrass the Thunder to a 4-1 victory. Now, after winning their first ring, many athletes get complacent and kind of chill out the next season. Not LeBron though. Nope, quite the opposite. His taste for victory only made him hungrier. And in 2013, he had yet another historic season, winning yet another MVP, and dominated the Spurs to win his second title. Now it's really hard to win a championship, but to repeat is a whole different feat. In the following season in 2014, the cracks were beginning to show. Not in LeBron by any means, but in the rest of his team. Wade was having knee issues, and Bosh was becoming a little washed, but that doesn't stop the best player in the world. And LeBron made sure to give Steph a little reminder of just that during their second matchup that season.
Do you send multiple players at LeBron? Down to 5, down to 3.
Make somebody else beat you.
3 on the way. He got it!
Make somebody else beat you. Take the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, don't mess around with LeBron, man. Unsurprisingly, LeBron led his team to a 4th straight finals. But with the team running on fumes, San Antonio was able to blow him out 4-1. And so, LeBron realized that his time with the Heat was coming to an end. It was time to come back home, back to Cleveland. After all, they now had a young Kyrie Irving, so it wasn't like he was coming home to the same poverty roster. LeBron was only ready to accelerate his career, expecting to win several more rings in the next few seasons at the least. While LeBron was fully seizing his prime, ready to build the greatest career to have ever been seen in the NBA, something was brewing in the background, something that would prevent that perfect career from ever happening. A new challenger who could no longer be ignored, slowly winning the hearts of millions, a foe who would soon become LeBron's greatest problem of all. During those years of LeBron's dominance, Steph Curry was building a name of his own out west. After that first encounter with LeBron in 2009, Steph continued to have a quiet but solid rookie season, averaging an efficient 17.5 points per game. And while he wasn't quite yet the dominant shooter that would end up changing the game forever, he was still shooting an impressive 43% from 3, and ended up placing second in Rookie of the Year voting, losing to Tyreek Evans, who was last seen playing in Venezuela. Still, Steph had plenty of doubters, and for good reason. This dude was tiny, only weighing 180 pounds at 6'3", and with that, he was also injury prone, constantly hurting his ankles, and he wasn't nearly as explosive as other respected guards at the time, like Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose. This just wasn't a game meant for a small, unathletic guard. But Steph wasn't going to listen to the haters, and he continued to improve his game. In his second season, he averaged 18.6 points per game on a crazy 48% efficiency. The Warriors as a whole were still looking kinda rough, and were still far from playoff contention. And the following 2011 season looked just as depressing for the team, as Curry started dealing with chronic ankle sprains. Like as soon as he looked okay to play again, he'd have another ankle problem. Even on the simplest moves, he'd twist his ankle again, and end up missing another few weeks. It seemed like his doubters were right. Steph is too fragile for this league. He only ended up playing 26 games that season. But that offseason, Steph worked relentlessly. He started putting more time in the weight room, working with specialized trainers to fix those glass ankles. And against all odds, it actually worked. Steph came back in the 2012 season with a chip on his shoulder, and this was when the legendary chef broke out. He broke the NBA record for the most threes scored in a single season with 272. Yes sir, the baby-faced assassin was born, and he was beginning to change the game of basketball, showing the world just how lethal the three-point shot can be. And with Klay being drafted the season prior, the world was introduced to the Splash Brothers. And well, you know how that goes down.
Play, another 3, another make. It is, it's insanity.
It's wild. Eric Gordon's there.
So drives inside, kicks it out. Klay Thompson, a 3.
Guard-to-guard screen, Klay Thompson 3.
Green is in a torture chamber, and outside it goes Curry. 3!
Inevitably, the Warriors matched up with the King once again.
Wade, but they couldn't get it to him. And instead, Steph finds David Lee. Steph Curry creates a little space and hits the jumper. LeBron from deep, and he hits it.
He's got to get more room than that. He reached.
Turn, fire, hits.
Holy mackerel, did he earn that?
Illegal. Illegal, how good he is.
I like it, they're running.
Steph foul line pulling. Inside the lane, Draymond Green with 9/10 left. 9/10 fading, firing, ripped it out, and the Warriors beat the Heat.
For the first time in his career, Steph beat LeBron, although that was more of an effort from his team, seeing that he only scored 9 points that night. Still, the Warriors made the playoffs and upset the 3-seed Nuggets in the first round. And while they did end up getting eliminated by the Spurs in the conference semis, the league took notice of Steph and his squad. Coming into 2013, the following season, the Splash Brothers continued to cook and led the Warriors to their first 50-win season since '94. Yet, they ended up losing in the first round of the Clippers that year. It seems like they just couldn't get over that hump. Some changes needed to be made, and so they were. The Warriors fired head coach Mark Jackson and brought in Steve Kerr, who truly unlocked the potential of Steph with his motion offense, giving Steph the green light to take any shot he wanted. And alongside a developing Draymond Green who was about to enter his third season, the Splash Brothers were ready to shoot lights out. The championship roster was ready, and for the first time in history, the world was about to witness a prime Steph Curry go absolutely ballistic. He once again broke the record for the most threes scored in a single season, hitting 286 this time. And in doing so, won his first MVP. He led the Warriors through the West, plowing through the Pelicans, Grizzlies, and the Rockets to get to his very first NBA Finals. And on the brightest stage, the King himself was waiting.
As we welcome you to Oakland, California on a beautiful day in the Bay Area. And of course, a sellout crowd at Oracle Arena where they've packed them in every...
For the very first time in their careers, LeBron James and Steph Curry faced off in the finals. But even before the finals started, the Cavs were already fighting an uphill battle, with their star forward Kevin Love being out with the dislocated shoulder. But this wasn't Kevin Love's fight. This was a battle between the two MVPs, and they went at it.
LeBron James on the pull-up, drills the jumper, knocks down the three. LeBron James' playoff moments as well. Curry connects. Curry for three, puts it in. Now in his fourth year, Curry with the steal. Steps back for three, bang! Four to shoot. James jab step, jumper, got it.
Game 1 looked promising to fans all around the world that this would be a series for the ages, as both teams were going neck and neck at each other, not letting either one break away in the fourth. And indeed, we ended up going to overtime. But once again, tragedy struck.
Irving falls down, hangs on, gets it to J.R. Smith. Can't hit the three.
With Kyrie hurt, the Cavs would go the rest of OT without scoring, and the Warriors would come home with the dub. With both of LeBron's star teammates out, he was getting flashbacks to his old days on the Cavs. Once again, my man had zero help in the finals. But we know that's not going to stop an MVP from doing MVP things. LeBron somehow led the Cavs to win 2 games in a row, putting up a combined 79 points in both games. This is a man on a mission to be the greatest player of all time. And man, he was proving his case. However, LeBron could only do so much. And while he was clearly the best player on the floor, once again, the Warriors roster was simply too deep, and they had an MVP of their own. The Warriors ended up cruising in the next 3 games, winning each game by a significant margin. Steph Curry, the baby-faced assassin, brought the Warriors their first championship in 40 years, and his first ring over LeBron. Oh man, LeBron was pissed, bro. 2 straight losses in the finals in a row. This could not have been a peaceful offseason for him.
Leave me alone!
And so he came back into the 2015-2016 season ready to make things different this time. He could not lose again. And in classic LeBron fashion, he dominated the East, averaging 29, 11, and 9, leading the Cavs to the top of the conference. But that was nothing compared to what Steph was doing out west. This man, fully in his prime, set the league on fire. In the most dominant regular season in NBA history, the Warriors instilled fear inside the hearts of their opponents. They were ready to massacre anybody who stood in their path. There was nothing anybody could do to stop them. No matter what defense you played, this guy could hit anything. And for the 3rd season in a row, he once again broke the 3-point shooting record, a record that remains to this day, hitting 402 threes in a single season. There's a reason he's the only unanimous MVP in NBA history. His season was so monstrous that he came 4th in voting for the Most Improved Player award, the season after winning an MVP. How do you win an MVP and then almost win Most Improved Player a season later? It just blows my mind, honestly. This is greatness. So it wasn't really much of a surprise that the 2 demigods would meet up once again in the NBA Finals, in what was arguably the greatest finals of all time.
Curry for 3. Curry hits it. Warriors take game 1. We are set to go for game 2. Gets inside, an easy layup for LeBron James, his first points. Curry from downtown, his 3rd 3-pointer. 4 to shoot. Curry from the 28-foot line. Oh! Steph Curry from way downtown. And they'll take A 2-0 lead in these NBA Finals. Welcome back to Cleveland. Only elimination games are must-win situations. What about a long three? Iguodala's in the game. And James banks it in. James keeps his dribble somehow. Irving back to James. Oh, he throws it down. James to the basket and a foul. A wire-to-wire victory for Cleveland. An emphatic response here in Cleveland. Cavs not only undefeated at home, they have been dominant at home. Curry steps back. Another three for Curry. Curry left open. Curry connects. James guarded by the young McAdoo. James drives past him and an easy two. And Curry fakes, puts up a three. Bang! And the Golden State Warriors, with a huge win on the road, take a commanding 3-1 lead in these NBA Finals.
It wasn't to anyone's surprise that the 73-9 Warriors were up 3-1 against the Cavs. After all, the Warriors did beat the Cavs both times they met in the regular season. Of course they were going to win. Game 5 is going to be a cakewalk.
I guess his feelings just got hurt. I mean, we've all been called plenty of bad words on the basketball court before. You know, some guys just react to it differently.
What did you say Clay said?
Clay said, I guess he just got his feelings hurt.
Shumpert in pursuit, blocked by James, rejects it out of bounds.
Support that.
Good hustle defensively. James fakes, James drives, James finishes, and the foul. His drive past Irving, gets inside, layup blocked by James. James the drive, James the finish. Leans in, tried to draw the foul, got him up, count it, and one. 40 points for LeBron James as Cleveland forces a Game 6. And Curry has to back off as James throws it down. Irving fakes, drives, James on the throwdown. James to Thompson. Oh, what a pass from LeBron James. Alley-oop to Thompson. To Smith. Smith, alley-oop to James. Wow. Curry blocked by James. And there's the buzzer. Game 7, Sunday night in Oakland. Oracle Arena is alive and roaring as we get set for Game 7. Pass right through the hands of Curry. James, the two-handed slam. Another attack to the basket. And he's got a free throw coming up. Back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again.
I'm not going to comment on what Clay said because I know where it can go from this sit-in. It's so hard to take the high road. I've been doing it for 13 years.
The chosen one did the impossible, beating a 73-9 team that had the unanimous MVP, all while being down 3-1, bringing his hometown team their very first ring. Might just be the greatest story not just in the history of the NBA, but in the history of sports as a whole. And this man was ecstatic. He could finally relax after fulfilling his promise to the city of Cleveland. But as I'm sure you all know, you can only be happy for so long before life blindsides you and slams your head into a rock. Because not even 3 weeks later, we witnessed the most controversial move in the history of the NBA.
News again coming in moments ago. Kevin Durant heading to the Golden State Warriors.
Almost like it was karma, LeBron was seeing flashbacks of his own decision. Only difference is, this time the 73-9 Warriors that took 7 games to beat just signed Kevin Durant. It wasn't even a competition, man. This was actually just unfair. Everyone knew who was going to win the championship even before the season started. This would mark the last time LeBron and Steph would meet in the finals. And as you'd expect, LeBron hated him. Hated him. So much for catching Mike, right? 6-0 in the finals versus 3-6. Not exactly the record LeBron was hoping for when he came back to Cleveland. Of course, that feeling was mutual. Steph hated LeBron just as much. What, the man who robbed him of having the greatest season of all time? Yeah, not really much love lost there. But their story doesn't end there. That mutual hatred turned into a mutual respect. After all, greatness recognizes greatness. And eventually, that mutual respect turned into a friendship. Fast forward 6 years, NBA fans all around the world got to experience something we've all dreamed about. That these two all-time greats would play together. And man, it was so beautiful.
James, the drive. James, the finish.
Put him in a pick and roll. Oh,
Curry for the lead. Oh, kaboom! With him, James. Oh, Curry. Coast to coast. Brands as James in transition. Kick out. Curry. Pump. Fly by. Curry. Bullseye. Back to Curry. Dancing on Batum. Over the double team. Oh!
LeBron James and Steph Curry. 2 all-time greats with 2 all-time careers. Both born in Akron, both winning 4 rings. Both anomalies in terms of longevity, so it's not impossible that they win another. You could say that these two tainted each other's legacies, but iron sharpens iron, and these two motivated each other to become the best versions of themselves. And in doing so, they forged their names into the history books, with each other, forever. Hooligan.